I am Ramakrishna. Today we are going to the exciting journey of the NLP. So we'll talk on the introduction and then its application and why is it so powerful, right? So what is NLP? NLP is basically it's a natural language processing, right? And then it basically where it fits inside the artificial intelligence. So if you draw a Venn diagram, so NLP sits inside the artificial intelligence. Okay. So now inside the artificial intelligence, we do have a machine learning, we do have a deep learning, we do have computer vision, and then we have reinforcement learning, and so and lot of like this. So now what is NLP? So NLP is a subfield of AI which interacts between the human language and the machine language. So natural language processing is to deal anything to do with the human language, whether it is a English, a Spanish, German, Hindi, Telugu or any other language. So now if I give you some example, so let's say I go to shop and buy chocolates and chips. So I am trying to understand this more meaningful way, right? So now as a human we can understand this by looking at these sentences, because as a human we know how each word are related. At the same time is any syntactic or semantic relationship between these sentences. But as a human we knew it, we have learned from the childhood. But now as a machine you need to understand the text. So that process is called natural language understanding. So natural language understanding is you are trying to understand the unstructured text and then making it to a more structured format. Like let's say I will add to a cart, like let's say chocolates and also chips that I am buying. So this process of converting from unstructured and then understanding them to a structured is usually the process of natural language understanding. And then we can also reverse back, means reverse engineering also we can do that. From a given this structured information, we can also generate something called the natural language generation. We can generate a text as well. So example of natural language generation is, let's say you ask to generate some English to Spanish translations to a, let's say, ChatGPT. Now it is able to generate 2-3 sentences or a few samples of the required task. So this process is usually a natural language generation. So generating the naturally language which a human can understand. So that process is called natural language generation. So these two comes under umbrella of NLP. So natural language processing, we have a natural language understanding and then natural language generation. Why is it so powerful? NLP is why such a powerful technique. When I say powerful, because of the lot of text that we have either public domain or within the organizations. So why don't we use this information to extract some meaningful information? Whether let's say you have a product reviews or a customer feedbacks, you have a lot of many more. So we try to understand these particular the unstructured text and then making a more meaningful information around them is what is natural language processing. So what are the typical applications of this natural language processing? So one is the translation. So translation, when I say translation, whether we want to translate from one language to the other language. So whether it is a Spanish to German, or German to English, or English to Portuguese, or Portuguese to Italian. So that language, any given language, now you need to translate them in order to use to our customer. So example of this translation is a Google Translator or a DeepL translators. This is one of the application. And then next we have a summarization. Summarization means you have a lot of documents and then we want to summarize into a one paragraph, either 50 words or 100 words, something like that. As a human, if you want to summarize them of a 1000 page or 100 page, it takes a long time. But why can't we have a machine to understand this text and generate some summary? So both tasks involved here, understanding the entire semantic or syntactic meaning and then generating a summary around that is called a summarization. So, and then we have a sentiment classification, either any classification, either you want to detect any email, we have a spam or ham, or also sentiment associated to any product reviews. So that process is usually a classification approach. This classification is usually, whether it is a sentiment if you are doing, we have some set of classes, whether it is a positive or a negative or a neutral. If you are trying to understand, let's say whether it is a spam classification or ham classification, we have a binary classification. So that is a technique here. That is one of the application. And then we have a fourth applications, we have usually a chatbots. So what is a chatbot? An agent which can respond to a user queries. So that is what is usually a chatbot. It maintains the conversation of a historical data, and based on that it gets the context, and then based on that context, whatever user passed the query, automatically it understands this particular query, and then it has a context, and then it can respond based on the training data that we have trained on. So that is what is a chatbot. And we do have some topic modeling. So what is topic modeling? So topic modeling is a clustering technique of a given documents. Now I want to cluster of a given news. I want to cluster into a politics, entertainment, movies or something like that. So you can cluster, when you plot this top modeling output, you get some decent clusters like this. So one could be news related to religious, right? Or maybe I could relate it to politics, or I can relate to in some other things also. So that's what is a topic modeling. And we study each and every detail in detail as we move forward. We have many other applications as well, like paraphrase classification, or let's say question answering systems. So let's say you are developing a question answering system based on the context, you define a question and then automatically it understands this context, and then there is a question behind this, and you ask the question, and then from this context it will answer to you. So that is a question answering system. That is one application. So we have like this many applications that we have in the NLP. So NLP has a very wide range of applications in the industry. So starting from translation or transliteration, summarization, we have a classification, we have a label extractions. Label extraction is basically, if you talk, this is also one key area in name entity recognition. So recognizing the entities, or entities means words. Recognizing the entities, like in this example, now I am recognizing I need what are the different products that we have in these particular sentences. Is entities we call, so that we are extracting. Name, entity, recognize. Recognizing these entities is very, very important. So that is also one application that we could see. And a relationship extraction, whether what is the relationship between the, let's say example, two molecules or two drugs or two diseases, how are they linked, how are they connected, so that is also a relationship extraction we call. So these are some few applications of this NLP. So we will talk each and every topic in detail as we move forward, and we will also in the next video we will talk about how a given text like this, how do we process them. So because there is a lot of data, lot of things that maybe sometimes it has a noise also associated to this particular text. So hence now we need to understand this more meaningful way, to make it more meaningful way. So that process is called text pre-processing. In order to develop some application or in order to generate anything, we process them in order to reduce the noise or in order to clean them very well. So that is called text pre-processing. We will talk in detail in the next class. So majority times we have a tokenization, we have a stemming, we have a lemmatization. We will talk in the subsequent topics and we will discuss in the next series. Thank you so much.